Hello, Abecedarians. I'm going to go over week 21, new grammar. For math, we're going over the associative law for addition and multiplication. I have a song and some hand motions. The hand motions might be a little bit complicated, but I'm going to use them anyway in class just as like a visual representation. So it goes, the associative law for addition goes something like this. Opening parenthesis, A plus B, closing parenthesis, plus C equals A plus opening parenthesis, B plus C closing parenthesis. The associative law for multiplication goes something like this. Opening parenthesis, A times B, closing parenthesis, times C equals A times opening parenthesis, B times C closing parenthesis. And I totally realized that this is a very complicated tune. Use it, don't use it. I used it with Jonah last year, and he did end up picking up on it. This is probably the hardest math thing that we'll have to memorize all year. So if you can do this, you can pretty much do anything, I feel like, anyway. But for hand motions, I'm going to say the associative law for addition goes something like this. Opening parenthesis, A plus B, closing parenthesis, plus C equals A plus opening parenthesis, B plus C closing parenthesis. Same thing for the multiplication, except we're going to go like this to make the times symbol instead of the addition symbol. All right, so moving on to Latin. We've learned all of these words, and we're going to continue doing the King Thing song. So cui, I don't know if you remember when we learned the song Hic this hoc same, ipso ipsum him, cui whose, quo that eamet, illum him. These are the pronouns in Latin. So cui means whose. Nomen means name, and we did this for name. We went nomen. Erat is was. Latin verbs erat was. So it's from that song. And Johannes is John. For science, where the question is, what does the theory of evolution rely on? And the question is, what we're going to do is some hand motions. We're going to say the theory of evolution, because in the theory of evolution, things are always improving, right? So we're going to say the theory of evolution relies on the belief that life, and then we're going to do our timeline arms, began as a chance combination of non-living things. And we're just going to point to non-living things in the room. Okay, for English, we're doing a subordinate clause, and we're going to continue doing the same tune from last week, which is Santa Claus is coming to town. So we're going to say a subordinate clause, also known as a dependent clause, does not express a complete thought and cannot stand alone. So kind of wordy. And then for hand motions for that one, we're going to say a subordinate clause, and we're going to put our hands on our belly like we're Santa Claus. Also known as a dependent clause. And so on a dependent clause, you have the independent clause, which can stand alone, and the dependent clause is kind of attached to the independent clause and can't stand alone. So we're going to do this for dependent clause. Does not express a complete thought and cannot, and then for stand alone, we're going to go like this. Stand alone, and we're going to fall down. So a subordinate clause, also known as a dependent clause, does not express a complete thought and cannot stand alone. Okay, for timeline, we're going to say World War II and President Franklin D. Roosevelt. For Stalin, we're going to do a big S. Stalin of the USSR. They were known as the bear because they were so cruel, so we're going to pretend like to be a bear. So we're going to say the USSR and the Kachin Massacre. So a lot of people were killed in the Kachin Massacre, so we're going to do a tier. And for United Nations formed, we're going to go, the United Nations formed. And for Cold War, we're going to go, the Cold War. Gandhi and India's independence. So this is the American Sign Language for I. So we're going to India's independence. And then for Jewish state established, we're going to Jewish state established. And then for Mao and communist victory in China, we're going to do a communist fist. And then we're going to go like this, like we're crushing something because that government is so overbearing. So we say Mao and communist victory in China. Okay, tell me about U.S. astronauts. For hand motions, we're going to say in 1969, U.S. astronauts, Neil Armstrong. And for Armstrong, we're going to go like this, like he has strong arms. So Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin, we're going to make a big A, were the first men. And then for walking on the moon, we're actually going to pretend to walk on the moon really slow. And it kind of has, the song is kind of like a trippy song. So that will be kind of fun. All right, so for geography, it's to the tune of Isn't It Lovely? I'm still kind of working on it, but let me get it out here. I'm going to play my song and then I'm going to try to sing along with it as well. Hold on just a second.
Across.
Okay.
Then there is a tune you can use if that's helpful, which is Wouldn't It Be Lovely? And it goes, Native American
regions, eastern woodlands and the plains, plateau territory, northwest coast, California, Great Basin, and the Southwest. All right, guys. I'll sing that one more time. I feel like it wasn't super clear. So, Native American regions, eastern woodlands and the plains, plateau territory, northwest coast, California, Great Basin, and the Southwest. All right, that's it. See you guys on Monday.